So I'm really sorry, this is going to be really dry. It's about funding, it's about how to get money to invest in your company. There's no real pictures, there's no animation, and I know straight after that one it's quite a lot of information to take in. So I'll try and make it as interactive as I can. I'm going to try and run through this really quickly, because I think the most interesting thing is questions, and for the whole industry to understand the support that we can provide. So the Skills Investment Fund, or SIF, is this industry investment, and it's from the Treasury, it's run by DCMS, and it came on the back of us getting tax credits. And although we're 12 months behind on tax credits, the idea is that once we get tax credits, we increase the amount of production in the UK, and what do we need when we increase production? We need more skilled workers, and that means new entrants and to upskill the people that we have already, and this is what this funding is about. So in total it was £16 million across those tax credits industry, so that's the high-end TV, animation, games and film, but it also includes VFX. So we get a fifth share of that money. We've been running for 12 months already, and we're just entering our second 12 months. This is managed by Creative Skillset, and I'm not sure how many people are aware of what Creative Skillset do. I consult for them as a games person, and I've worked in the games industry since the early 90s. They've been working with the games industry for at least 8 years. I know Ian's out there somewhere, and he's done a great deal of work with Creative Skillset, helping get industry people into university courses to make sure that they're accredited and they're fit for purpose, and we have 17 already of those courses. And we're trying to work with more of those courses to make sure that we have work-ready people. So everything that we do is controlled by industry, or is guided by employers. So each of these 5 industries got to choose how they wanted to spend their investment around skills. Games agreed not to have a levy like some of our other sectors, but what we decided to do was work collectively. Again, government support is very new for our sector, so we wanted to make sure that we were sharing and working in a collective way without necessarily adding on what may be perceived as being taxing people. So this is just a way for us to come in and say, let's work as a collective, and let's see how we can move forward as an industry to invest in our own talent. So our funding is open to a really wide section of the ecosystem. It includes games developers, so simply anyone that develops a game. Games publishers, we consider those to be anyone who commissions a game. Game service providers, so Mick out there from Audio Motion, that includes you and the whole ecosystem of providing a service, or Testronic, or I can't see the guys from Player Research, but they're somewhere in the audience. Those guys all include as part of our service providers, and then game distributors. So anyone that's doing the sales and marketing activity. So it's a really wide group of people. So if you're in this room, there's a good chance that you can access this funding. And then I said the council help guide us. We've just spent 2 hours with our council over in Baltic, and most of them are here today. So our chair, very recently, Giselle Stewart, stepped up to be our new chair, and Chris Kingsley there from Rebellion is our deputy chair. We run our council in association with Yuki and Tiger. Both of them sit on our council. Sony, we've got Maria at the back there. We've got Andrew Oliver over here. We've got Ella somewhere around. Martin Cervantes here. So a lot of the guys are in the room who are also on our council. So I'd say if you want to take an opportunity to speak to those people on the council who are influencing the way that this money is invested, they are around. Please take the opportunity to talk to those guys as well. Dan here from the front, he's part of our from Yuki, and of course Richard from Tiger also sits on our council. So our game skills priorities, we've identified that some of the areas we want to invest this money in are digital publishing skills, so really working out the shift in the industry between box product and online distribution. How do we deal with marketing and PR, particularly in the online space? Leadership and management skills, and then particularly with new consoles, how do we do more specialized roles? We've also identified today in our meeting 3 other areas we want to focus on. Unsurprisingly, VR, data analytics has always been around for us, and user interface. So those are 3 other areas that we think we need to work out where the skills are and how we're bringing new talent or upgrading the talent we already have. So, at a glance, what can we offer you? So there's 2 main strands that continue to run. The first one is Trainee Finder. This is where we help you fund taking on new entrants into the industry. And approved training is for your existing employees. How do we help upskill them by sending them on short courses, and how do we help fund that? The final piece there is industry panels. You can sign up online and give us feedback to the kind of issues that you have. So where do you have problems with recruitment? Where do you have problems with upskilling within your organisation? That feedback will go into where we invest the money and the kind of people and training providers we're talking to. So, Trainee Finder. What do we do with Trainee Finder? So we're looking to help match brand new trainees into the industry, often off creative Skillset accredited courses, and get them into their first job. We will provide you with a 50% match towards their training allowance. And I will start stumbling across words now, because very similarly to the work that the guys here were talking about with tax credits, there are rules, and there are rules from government about state aid. So we can provide you with a 50% match against the training allowance that these guys are going to receive. This is not a salary, it's about training and on-the-job training. I'm feeling slightly nervous with HMRC, trying to be really clear on what we do. But as people around here, they can also give you advice on how everything works. So that's now a bursary that you will be paying people towards their living allowance, and we can talk you through that entire process. What we'll do is once you sign up, we'll approve you as a company, we'll approve the trainees, I should click on really, and then we'll help you match. So any trainee is someone with less than 12 months industry paid experience. We've just been talking actually in the council meeting about how we extend that to include people who've been on sandwich courses, who aren't quite ready to go into a junior position, and they need training on the job to get them to a point where they can actually have a position within the organisation. So that first thing, less than 12 months industry paid experience. Then secondly, they can either come directly off a creative Skillset accredited course, which we've identified 59 courses around the country. Unsurprisingly, 6 of those come from Abertay, courses here in Newcastle, courses all across the UK. So we'll go and find a lot of those and put them on our database, and as soon as you sign up and be approved as a company, we can send out details of all those students. But you can also go and find your own people that match the skills that you need and write them 2 industry testimonials to say that you think they're good enough to be on our scheme. You do that, they're on our scheme, we'll match the 2 sides together. Got a few case studies, but is there anyone here who's actually got a trainee who's willing to put their hand up? So there's Ben down here, a few other people. So there's also people in the room here who've got trainees who you can talk to about how simple this process is, or some of the stumbling blocks you may have to work out how you can take on a trainee. And there are things that we're quite unfamiliar with, the idea of paying bursaries, the idea of state aid. So I'm not saying everything is completely clear. There's just things we're not familiar with, and as Creative Skillset, we'll support you through the process. But also as an industry, I think we need to come together more and support everybody on how to access this funding. So I'm not even going to try and pronounce the Reflections trainee's name, but he is a trainee programmer that's come aboard here in Newcastle. He came from a Creative Skillset accredited course. He started back in April. And as you see, there's a quote there from Giselle, who, unsurprisingly, is chair of our council, also thinks this is a fantastic funding scheme. And she's very happy to see the government really taking this sector seriously, not only in the tax credits, but also in supporting our skills. And it's enabled them to double the interns they're taking every year. They took last year and they're taking again this year, which is going to help the entire industry because they're upskilling those first entrants. But it's not just big established companies that are taking this. This is Jack Knight at Ripstone. They're based in Liverpool. They're quite a new publisher, out of Sony, and they've taken on a trainee publishing assistant. So don't just think this is about development skills. This covers the whole ecosystem of what we do. Because yes, we need to upskill developers, but if we don't have an ecosystem, we're not going to be able to take full advantage of our tax credits and our increase in production. So they've taken on a publishing assistant who's training. And again, Leo thinks it's working really well for him, and he wants to take on somebody else as well. As a small developer, taking on a new trainee is a big risk for them. And they found that this scheme really helped in taking that risk. I've only got 5 minutes left. Sorry. Simon Barrett, Four Door Lemon, he's also got one. It's working really well. He's also around if you want to nab him and talk to him about that, how that works. Approved training. This is for anyone who's already in a job. This is a very simple 50% grant against an approved course. The courses are approved by our council. They fit the needs of what you or we think are the skills requirements. What you do is you look on our list on our website. If the course isn't on our website, you email me. I'll talk to our council about putting it on our website. If it is on our website, you just apply online. We'll get back to you within 2 weeks. Apply for the course. You'll get a grant for 50% of the cost. That also covers your travel and your accommodation costs, as long as they're reasonable and we have guidelines. Some examples, Yuki are running a course with the Chartered Institute of Marketing about digital marketing. We've also got Nicholas Lovell on there, Oscar Clark, post-mortem work that was put forward by Sega. So there's a lot of stuff on there, but for an industry who aren't particularly good at training or sharing, this is a great way to find good training, and everything is reviewed and we update that continuously. So in summary, Trainee Finder, that's to take on new people, approved training for the people you have already to upskill. We're trying to make these as simple as we can. Workforce panels, if you want to give us more information about our skills needs. Some more information there. So I've only got a couple of minutes. Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, I think we've got time for 2 questions.
Great.
Hiya.
Hi.
I'm just wondering if the training courses, do they have to be UK-based courses, or can they be online courses all over the world, for example?
As long as they're approved by the council, they can be anywhere in the world. You need to pay tax as a company within the UK.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? I've got away lightly. I'll be around today and tomorrow. If you want to come and talk to me, please come and talk to me. I know some of this is a little bit daunting, but people really are accessing this money. And if we don't access this money, film and TV are very good at accessing government money. Honestly, we need to get our share. Thank you.